Okay, so today we're going to talk about chassis stiffness. Now this is a pet peeve of mine because every year I read design reports where teams say we targeted a chassis stiffness of 1500 newton meters per degree. Our analysis showed that the chassis was 1507 newton millimeters per degree. Now we know from the outset that that is just not true. What we want to see is we target a chassis stiffness of 1500 newton millimeters per degree. For this reason, it was this much more than the stiffness of our suspension. It was this much more than the stiffness of our tyres, therefore allowing the suspension to do the work it's designed to do. We analysed the chassis and it came out at 15% higher than we actually targeted. We then tested the chassis and it came out 15% lower than we targeted. And then we really want to know why you've ended up with the chassis stiffness you have and why it didn't match your theoretical results. Now, what chassis stiffness should you target? There's lots and lots of Formula Student papers on this subject, and there's lots and lots of information on the internet. I would stress to you as a team to go and read this information and really be able to strongly justify why your chassis is as stiff as it is. And ultimately, all it comes down to is the chassis is a spring-in stiffness in the system that is the car. And the chassis needs to be sufficiently stiff such that the suspension can do the job it's designed to do and control the tyres in the optimum way to make your vehicle go as quickly as possible. So if you have a chassis which is insufficiently stiff, therefore the suspension will be fighting against a chassis and it'll feel really, really weird for the driver and they won't be able to get maximum performance out of the car. If you've got a chassis which is excessively stiff, you're simply carrying around excess mass. And that has the detrimental knock-on effect of, again, performance on the car because you're carrying around mass you don't need. So what value of torsional stiffness should you go for in your chassis? I'm going to leave you guys to decide that one because there's no way I'm getting involved in that one. But there's lots and lots of material out there and make sure all your team members can justify why your chassis is as stiff as it is at the event.